continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us, man, there is nothing. We are starving. We should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Opeyemi Akinyode as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership. Every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you your minutes as we discuss the situations.
One of my favorite days on radio is always on Thursdays, especially if your dial is locked down on Mainland 98.3 FM. From the blast of the weasel, it is always throwback songs that takes you down memory lane, songs that make you understand, the composition of sounds, beats, words, expressions, and most especially the message in every song. And it's always my pleasure, when I tune in to Lagos Through the Ages by Kunle Daniels, and of course, Afro Time Out, 3 to 4 p.m., you get to hear good, history about certain songs you actually don't even know about. And, I've always believed in the idea of celebrating our legends, celebrating the greatness in them while they still yet live. Yesterday was the second birthday of the legendary Chief Dr. Ebenezer Obey, and I saw a couple of stuff, that many people did, greetings even from state government on social media, and I feel we could do more. And of course, you also listen to the special dedication to our late Uncle Jimmy Sholanke. I can't pull myself to calling him Jimmy Sholanke without putting that uncle. And of course, the one everyone called Jimmy Show. It was an amazing session. I had to just pop into the studio to have a direct feel of that. So next week, Thursday, is another time, 3 to 4 p.m. Afro Time Out. You get to hear good Afro music, Afro beat, Afro sounds of Nigerian origin, of African origin. And that's exactly what Jay gives you every Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m. We're in the situation room today, and it feels good to be back. Being out of Lagos since Saturday. Need to make a quick stop over in Benin, spend a couple of hours with a friend, spend the night in Asaba. The following day I was in Onitsha, spend the following night in Oka, and I'm back to Lagos. It's an amazing time. Big shout out to everyone that held it down while I was away. Omobola, Sandra, Sage, Babalola. And of course, the big one yesterday, 1 to 3 p.m. Midweek politics side forward. Hey, even while I was away, I was still following. That's exactly what radio does to you. My name is Opeyemi Akinyode, and this is the Situation Room. We get to do these every Mondays to Fridays from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Like you heard, the Situation Room. We bring you situation, issues, conversation around leadership, around governance, around politics, around everything that affect our daily existence as a people, especially as Nigerians. As we constantly demand for dividends of democracy from the leaders, the ones that swore to protect us, the ones that swore to provide a level playing ground for us to explore and grow as citizens. And then, in subsequent government had fallen short of those expectations. But we keep bringing the conversation here every day from 4 to 5:30 I would always bring seasoned analysts, opinion molders and leaders, interest individuals, even politicians, to kind of help us understand some of these policies, especially some of the policies of the government that has some feelings of anti-people. And I've always been of the opinion that every democracy, no matter how you want to define it, is supposed to be about the people. That's why if you listen to the easiest and the simplest of definition, it said democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So the people get the opportunity to choose who governs them, get the opportunity to choose who presides over them, and also get the opportunity to choose who legislates on their behalf. That's why you have the legislators, you have the governors, you have the president of the country. Well, today's another Thursday, and you know that when we gather on Thursdays, when I invite all of the roommates into the room, I always have one of the most sought after individuals when it comes to political conversation. Whether you operate in the print media, you operate within the TV space, or you do radio, Mr. Opeyemi is that individual that his opinion always hold weight. And you can always take it to the bank. With more than 30 years of experience and also being the chief political editor of Africa's finest newspaper, which is Guardian newspaper. So it's always a privilege when we have him join us every Thursday. He's live in the studio today, and then we'll take you through all of these conversations. Once again, Mr. Opeyemi, it's my pleasure to have you join us today as usual. It's a beautiful Thursday to talk politics on the radio.
Yeah, good evening, Lagos and Okpe. I'm sure you are good.
I'm very good. I had a couple of days off, and my closest friend got married in Onitsha, so we had to just quickly run around. I was contemplating how we can see, but
I also expect your invite this year.
I mean, that's the reason why I had to go and celebrate other people, so that I will not do my own alone. And, I really actually wanted to. I've always, by the virtue of what we do, the fact I also host event as MC, I've been privileged to spend at least a night in virtually all of the 36 states of this country. And I've always told people, you can be in Lagos and you think you know Nigeria. You can be in Ekiti and you think because of what you get to see on your phones, oh, you know what Asaba looks like, oh, you know what Jos looks like. Until you go into those cities. I saw the nightlife in Asaba. I got to Onitsha on Monday night, and hey, they still sit at home in Onitsha. Despite the fact that Monday was Easter, was public holiday, the sit at home was still observed. The street of Onitsha was literally empty. By Tuesday morning when we came out, everywhere was full. Well, I also saw the new second Niger bridge. Yes, I saw it. It was such a beautiful spectacle. It was in the night and everywhere was really beautiful. I think you should try and travel out of this country once in a while, out of your state rather. And it's easier to fly by air because it's faster. But you'd enjoy the road trips. Maybe a couple of fears, security issues and all of that, but enjoy it. Well, let's talk politics today, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about. If you saw the Guardian today, there was an exclusive about 2 million households to pay 225 naira per kilowatt as prepaid meter may hit 300,000. Now, let us take this thing back to where this conversation started from. When the former President WG SAW decided to privatize NEPA, it was NEPA. And then it changed to PHCN, Power Holding Company of Nigeria. And then the distribution license, the generation license were distributed to GENCOs, and then the disco rights were reserved by the government to hold the right to distribute and all of that. A lot of Nigerians felt for a fragile economy like ours, an economy that totally depends on small scale businesses, the employers of 10s and 20 to stimulate the growth. One of the things that must be constant is electricity supply. But subsequent government have done so much in terms of making sure that Nigerians enjoy at least 20 hours of electricity supply. But it's literally feeling like some people are within the system that are sabotaging this from working. Mr. Opeyemi, let's start from here. Before we even talk about this issue of, I made a joke when I saw the news. I said, thank God, I have like just 2 hours in a week. so the increment does not affect me. My electricity supply is just
which band are you?
I'm on W. I'm not on A to D. I'm on W. When I got home yesterday, I saw that everything in my fridge was bad, and I asked my neighbor, like, what happened? He said they've not brought license. I left. I said, okay, so this increment does not affect us. It's 20, but that's on the lighter mode. Now let's talk about how we got to this point. You and I have had series of conversation about electricity. I remember when we were setting agenda for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he was setting up his cabinet, we talked about the fact that whoever is going to be the minister of power must be ready to change the narrative. But at every single time that I've listened to the minister of power, I've always felt the interests of Nigerians don't exactly fly when it comes to this conversation. There's always talk about we remove tariff, we increase tariff, we remove subsidy, we remove subsidy. When you saw this news day before yesterday, how did you take it? Talk to us about that. Let's start from here.
Well, I think maybe some of us were not too surprised when we saw, because they have been trying to hint us. You know, I think you should understand the certain trajectory in Nigeria. When they were about, I think, to make an increase in any particular product or service.
You start from a rumor.
Not only from rumor, you become epileptic, right? Even if it's petroleum, just imagine whenever government wanted to increase the pipe,
there will be artificial scarcity.
So by the time they are now talking of increment, so I think some of you, let's just have it, no matter what you're talking about. So I think as it's in the beginning of this year, if you see how power supply had been that epileptic, even I'm sure I don't know how many estates or how many communities that will actually be in that A band. They said even to them, they said I think from 900, I think from area, I think maybe I don't know how they carve it, so they are bringing them to 500. In the reasons of it, so meaning that even their own estimation, the number of people enjoying that 20 hours have come down drastically, almost by 45%. So if from 900 we are bringing them to 500, right? But be as it may, how did we get here? We all saw it happening, because this is a country that things were not done as ought to be done. When they tried to unbundle NEPA, right, all of us shouted that yes, this is one of those good things that should happen. Because all of us will be expecting the kind of revolution that happened in the telecom industry, that they should do it also in NEPA. So most Nigerians cried for it. You know, at least some younger ones may not know what Nigerians suffered, I think, in the hands of the whole NITEL and the telecommunication industry before. You know, those were the period that even they were telling you that telephone was not for the poor, and that's what the country we lived. Do you understand? And that was the country we lived was a country where people will indeed tell you that whatever you want to do anything with NITEL, maybe you have to go and carry your mattress to go and sleep there, or you are ready to bribe everybody from gate man to the man that will receive your letter, or the man that will take you to where you're going to complain, even the man that will give you book to write your complaint. So I know what Nigerians suffer when we are still under NITEL. And you know the number of telephone lines that were made available to Nigerians at that moment. So, but immediately they privatized NITEL and the telecommunication sector, and they bring in more players to play. We saw how the game was being played initially by only MTN and Econet or whatever, but when we got more players, so the SIM I'm using, my MTN SIM I'm using now, I bought the day it was launched at 35,000 naira. Even we had to give somebody else 5,000 to make it happen immediately, right? Because they had limited number of number that day. Do you understand? But this is SIM card they are giving free to people on the street. Do you understand? And at the same time, MTN then that was charging 15 minutes per call. Even when you had a drop call,
it charges as a minute.
A minute. So I think even they were telling you that you can only buy 1,500 credits. So you can't buy airtime of 70, 750 or 500 then. And initially it was 1,500. But because what we were expecting, joyfully we are buying it. But when the But when the major issue of demand and supply or competition is expected, where you liberalize a sector, begin to play in, right? We now begin to see a situation where we are now buying recharge card of 200 naira.
100 naira.
We are buying recharge of 20 naira, even we buy recharge of 50 naira. We are now to the extent that they now give a line freely to people now, right? Go to major roads, but we are talking of the players because the passenger did that one and did it rightly. But so with that one, Nigerians wanted the same to happen in the power sector. So we all expect. So when they said we are now unbundling NEPA and the disco aspect of it will be privatized, you understand? Where I think all Nigerians shouted. But my brother, immediately they did that bidding. That journalists are beginning, especially our energy correspondents, have been shouting that most of the companies that won the bidding were not the actual people with the capacity, both technical and financial muscle, and to give Nigerians what Nigerians wanted. And what we have seen now proved us right. Because even the so-called discos, apart from dancing around to distribute bills regularly, they now failed doing that one. But what else have they done? Even to increase, to make distribution better. There was a time we were speaking on this on this matter that I asked our listeners that I want them to tell us that if any of the discs, whether you're under Ikeja, whether you are an
IBDC
or whatever, IBDC, have you seen them bringing transformer to any community? And what are they distributing? Have you seen them even changing wires? If your LT low tension, just add issue, the community have to provide it. You have to buy the wire. So they are not providing. They've never. I can bet it. If they are, even if they are spokesperson listening to us, let them prove us wrong that they've purchased any transformer to any community. Whether a Kenya district company we are or Eko or Ibadan that's very cool and do that very close to our catchment area here. Let this number of transformers we bought for our customers, or this number of cables that we bought to replace old ones. So what I'm saying that Nigerians kept on bear the burden, providing transformers, relief transformers where necessary. That's why you see if you want to run a hotel or you have a big place,
you buy your own step down.
You must buy your own step down unless they won't allow you to take it. Because I didn't know one of our, I think let's say one of our churches, somewhere, you understand? Because they saw we had there was a lift, that kind of thing. They said, no, you cannot take it. So you have to get your own step down. Somehow we got it. Buying it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is happening to everywhere. So the people, the kind of capital they said they were going to inject into the system, they did not get it, and they could not get it because they did not have the collateral to secure such from the foreign investors they feel in their form. So from day one, most of the gencos failed in their own responsibility of doing what they're supposed to do. And they were doing what's supposed to do, there should be enough power supply to earn more money, at least to pay for those things we are talking about. Okay, let me give you an instance in my area. Now, they said we are having 2 days on, 1 day off. Why must that be that 1 day off? Because our transformer has been weak. So the areas that's supposed to supply, so that transformer cannot take all.
So the transformer will need to rest, reduce load, and lab.
Yeah, so instead of 3 legs they are using there, they can only load 2 at once. Do you understand? What I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that are they being, if on those they are not doing that kind of load shedding, the more they give us power, the more we pay. Is that not the logic? So I measure the distribution network is faulty. Is low because there is no sufficient investment in that area, and it's affecting what they are remitting to the transmission company. So then the transmission company says it's not getting more money to pay for gas. This is not because people are not paying, but they are not what they are distributing. They are not sufficiently distributing it to earn enough. Do you understand? at least for them to remit enough, to have enough money to pay the transmission company. So that's the problem. So kind of bottom top approach. So the bottom is faulty. Where the consumers that's supposed to use and pay, because when they were not getting that services, and the good in some areas where you have meters, so you cannot bill me for what I did not use. You understand? So that's one of the major problems. So I still put it to our listeners. Let them call us. I think when they've seen NEPA, sorry, the discos bringing relief and transformer to their communities, and we still have many communities, even in Lagos State here, that have not been connected to national grid. What are they doing? So what does it that marketing what has been supplied them has been poor, satisfying customers with what they have has been very poor, because they have not invested in the distribution aspect of their own bargaining. And be as it may, the system are now becoming, I think, something else, regressing.
Now let me hold your thoughts here. On Monday, one of my friends' guy we're driving around Onitsha, and he said where he stays. We're talking about electricity and all of that, and because we saw some solar, some solar panels on the road that are not working. We moved in night, and I'm like, how come this place is so dark? And there are beautiful bridges where people should, and it's like where they stay, that they rent transformers. So there are individuals now that buy transformers. Yes, that's entirely new to me. He said people would buy transformer and keep. So if your transformer is faulty, you go and carry it and you rent it. So they pay 200,000 every week. And if the transformer is faulty, or if you get faulty while it's on rentage with you, you will buy it automatically. Now that's a new law. Now, let's even talk about the contract itself. When bids were made, commitments were obviously made. Okay, we are going to invest so trillions in the next 10 years and all of that.
Did not.
That's where I'm going to. Why is it difficult for all of the administration we've had, from Obasanjo himself to late Umaru Yar'Adua to Goodluck Jonathan to Muhammadu Buhari? Why is it difficult for them to call the bluff of the individuals that bidded for this right, and they did not live up to their commitment?
You know what? Let me shock you. When Buhari was complaining about this, Buhari said when PDP government at least did this contract, it was given to their cronies, not on competence, not on capacity,
just on patronage.
He alleged that, and the contract I think it lapsed sometime late last year, if I'm not mistaken. Nigerians expected these people by now maybe to have changed them or call for new people at least to come and see. Extended. Do you understand? Up to now, they still keep them.
So we consolidated on failure.
And we are still consolidating on failure. I think if my memory serves me right, 1 or 2 were sanctioned. Do you understand? Out of many. Do you understand? If only 2 were sanctioned, how many of them, do you understand, that I think you have been able to get feedback from the consumer to tell you they are capable? It will shock you that recently in my own community, they're supposed to come out because of the alternative, 2 days on, 1 day off. And when we suppose after the 1 day off, we expected to have the 2 day on, and we could not get.
You can't get
it. So some of us now complained. So said that some people went to their office. Do you understand? Do you know what they got there? They told them the boys are supposed to come and change it. The Okada is faulty.
To come and switch over to your own.
Yes, remove fuse from one and put another one there. So the boys that will do it there, I think for 2 days, 3 days. So what I say, so is it community now
that will pay to fix the Okada, or they buy a new one for them?
Or buy Okada for their boys to walk. So I'm talking of Igado. Igado office. Do you understand? So if community now to buy Okada Do you understand? For their boys.
That will go and switch.
So go and renew the fuse and place it to another one. So you can imagine. But these are the people. Let them give you power supply 4 hours in a day. The second
you get
day,
bills.
Second day you see them. This now they transmit it electronically. So they are not bringing bills to your house. But if you have light today, the second day they will start carrying ladder. For the past 4 days, I'm telling you, we have not seen it on for a second. And that doesn't mean that we not have been. So, I think things have been so bad. There must be a thorough audit of the activities of these GENCOs or DISCOs, or what you call them. They have failed Nigerians. Most of them are ripping off innocent and helpless Nigerians. And they are getting backing of some government officials to perpetrate this heinous act against humanity. Businesses have collapsed. Commerce has gone down. Some people that picked high interest loan for these groceries, I don't see they sell. They were crying. And some people are smiling to the banks. It's quite unfortunate.
The woman that sells frozen foods at the entrance of my estate.
That's what I pity them.
I wanted to get something about 2 weeks ago, so I noticed that the shop had not been open for a while. So I saw her phone number on the banner. So I called her. She said she had stopped selling frozen foods. So there's only things that are not perishable that she sells.
Imagine you stocking your freezer now because they say we are giving you 2 days or 1 day off. Just I'm using my area as an example. And we say that we're going to have today and tomorrow.
At least the 1 day off you can augment with your generator.
So you go and stock your freezer. Then I start and throughout the night, you won't be able to sleep
Because there's no light.
You might and you know what's happening to your business, right? And throughout the night, I think the thing did not blink for a second. Imagine that one. The second day did not blink. And the woman begin to calculate how much I spent on diesel or petrol to power the freezer. Do you understand? And they're calculating the profit
on the frozen food.
On the frozen foods.
It's zero. She's only at a loss.
That's why people have developed hypertension.
So now, Mr. Miwa, President Tinubu's one of the major things he did, apart from, of course, the removal of the subsidy, when he got sworn in, was to sign the Electricity Act Amendment Bill into law. And what that means is that all of the 36 states can generate the electricity and distribute in their capacity. And a lot of Nigerians expect that things will get better from here. Things will pick up. Because whether we like it or not, Nigeria runs a microeconomy base where you need the small scale businesses to stimulate growth. You need the small businesses to employ people, employers of 5, of 10s, of 20s. And there was a day I was having a conversation with Said Fuad, and I was just asking that on the estimate, how much do we spend on diesel every month as a company? When he didn't even give me the figure, he showed me the quote, and I'm like, imagine if this huge amount of money being spent on diesel is pumped in back into this place. How the owner of the business, how do they even want to make profit? Why is it difficult for states to generate and distribute their own electricity when the law has been passed by Mr. President?
No. I think let me quickly answer that this one. It's not what they pick off the shelf, right? So after signing the bill into law, I know some states I think are already into it. I know Lagos, I think it's doing some capacity of a IPP, and I'm aware that the states like Enugu, Kaduna State, before they were doing something in that direction.
Even Abia State.
I know Abia leverage on geometrics. But Najib, he has done its own before, but trying to say how to get national grid, let's create a community where they use So with that one, so the state government just leverage on that one, do you understand? And that's why you see Abba is not talking about 24-hour power supply. Do you understand? Because geometric has already done it already, but with a vision, this thing is possible. Do You understand? You know the history of Professor Batinaji, one of the technocrats, one of the best hands that we think should be involved in solving the problem. But unfortunately, he shot his hand, he shot his leg the other time when he was a minister, and allegedly involved his private company. I think in this business.
Contract.
Yes, that's why I think they used that one to get him out of the of the sector. But be as it may, some serious states have taken the advantage of the act signed into the law, and they are already building their own power IPP. But for me, I will not be able to know, I think, unless we try to make inquiries how long what Lagos is doing, how long it will be, what Qatar is doing, how long it will be to at least to come to become operational. But they have started working on it. As I said, it's not going to pick up the share, but hopefully, maybe I think if they are serious with it, I will not see what should take it more than 18 months to 24 months at least to start enjoying, because I know Lagos will be very fast. If I'm not in position, at least to, let's say, to I think to talk about that state. But if you see, because Lagos has enough money, and if they call investors,
they will respond.
They will respond because of the population, because of Lagos GDP. You know, Lagos is better advantage for all this. Even if Lagos State wanted to be off the national grid, they can do it because they have the resources, they have the economy, and they have the population to do it. So, but I'm sure Lagos State government must be very serious with it. So let's see in a couple of months, and I'm sure the governor must speak about it as soon as possible. I want to assume so, that for Nigerians, for Lagosians to know how far I think the state has gone. I expect the state to have been doing the same thing. If any state, yes, because the spillover of the business in Lagos
is into Ogun.
You understand? So that's why some of us say that Ogun has not done enough
to leverage on what Lagos is offering them.
That's the point. And what stops them in Ogun State now of start working on power IPP that can supply areas like Shagam, Axis, where you're expecting companies to come. Do you understand? What stops them? And it's immediately from ᴏᴜᴜ, that's Ogun State. Do you understand? Down to almost Ibadan toll gate. I'm not talking of Ogere toll gate. Down to almost Ibadan toll gate. The companies are coming up left and right in those places. Even when you go to Abeokuta from that Shagam Axis to go back there or wherever the area, you see companies springing left and right. So what stops them, do you understand, from having an IPP in that area to attract more companies to the place? But that's not the issue now. But the issue is that I know some serious state governors are already doing something in that direction. And then let's wait. And in a couple of months, I think we should start seeing the results. Okay.
And now we're going to talk about these increments now.
Yes.
But I made a joke at the start of the show, and it's actually not a joke. Where I stay, I'm under IBEDC, that's Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company. I stay at Magboro. And what they do is, they give you light for 12 hours, and then they take it for 24 hours. So for instance, if they bring it 6 o'clock this evening,
yes,
they'll take it 6 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So they'll bring it 6 o'clock 24 hours after. For instance, they take it 6 o'clock on Monday morning, they'll bring it 6 o'clock on Tuesday morning. So all of that full day, you won't have it.
So 12 hours
12 hours on, 24 hours off. So the 12 hours on that you're supposed to have in your shift of 3 days, yes, that's supposed to be 12, 24, 36 hours. You may have just 1 hour. So I got angry one day, and I told my other flatmate, I said, maybe you remove me from this light, so when you are paying bills, because I'm too enlightened to be paying for what I'm not consuming. Whether I stay at home, I'm always at work, it's not the deal. In my area, they sell petrol for 630 naira per liter. I can barely sleep at night without light. So the money I'm supposed to use to keep body and soul together, I'm buying petrol. Now, this increment, how much of a burden is this on Nigerians? Now, this is what I mean. They said it's for band A, the people that enjoy 20 hours light a day. I have a friend that stays in a community that each time we go there, they're always having light. So I called her, I said, how would you people cope? She said, in the last 6 months, the light has been terrible. So is this fair on Nigerians? The removal of this subsidy for this category of people, how much of a burden is this on Nigerians at this crucial moment where the economy is in a really bad place and people are trying to keep body and soul together?
I think let me quickly admit something. There's nowhere in the world that power is cheap. Do you understand? There's nowhere in the world that power is cheap. And anybody could bear me, at least compliment or we want to argue it. We can argue that, but I don't want to start comparing with other countries or whatever. Do you understand? They've been a republic there. They've been having constant power supply for about 20 years, right? But go there in the afternoon, you won't know there's light. There's light. You won't know because you won't see a globe outside in the afternoon, mistakenly on even the sitting room. I have some cousins in Ketu, part of the Benin Republic, very close to Meko. When I got to their hand, you see a 4 flat for the 4 people to now people in the 4 flat using one freezer. You understand? Because
just to manage consumption.
Managing having one freezer. Do you understand? And so they have a meter to that freezer, to their pumping machine and the area lights. So they jointly pay for that. Do you get my point? But the point I'm making is that power is not cheap, but it's available. Let it be available. But the way they are going now is like they are overpricing. They are overpricing it. I was talking to a colleague yesterday. I think she lives somehow in Maryland. Somewhere in Maryland. And they categorize them as A.
Okay.
You understand? I think in her duplex, she said that before, I think she was buying a card of 10,000 per week. 10,000 per week. You understand? So with 221 increase. You understand? So she's going to be buying card of 30,000 per week. How much is that in a month?
That's 120,000.
So if you are running a duplex with 120,000
a month,
it's not for commercial.
The residential,
whatever. They don't have a shop there. It's not that.
I'm with you.
So you can imagine some people they said they will be they are using 20 hours a day. So you can imagine the burden of what they will be paying now. Because what they were paying before was high. Now
they're paying highest.
So do you understand? But I didn't know about pricing. They are. What? Do you understand? And it's not that 20 hours every constant, because they have also been complaining in recent times. Before they say, well, we get 20 hours, 23 hours, but they now have 15, 14 hours a day. Hardly. At times, for 2-3 days. To the extent that on their platform, they're almost fighting that no, NEPA should come and remove them from this their grade before this increment, because they are not enjoying it.
Now with this increment?
So without this increment. So to me, it has been overpriced. And they are unfair to Nigerians. If they're making them to pay for what they are not enjoying. And they might fear again. Once they stabilize this grade A or whatever they are band A or whatever they are talking about, it's already they've got the license. Do you understand? To penetrate to the nooks and crannies of the villages and increase whatever you are enjoying for 12 hours, I think per 48 hours. They've got license to do it. They won't announce it. They will say that you are paying the cheap because some people are paying higher. So this one at this time is not the best. if they are looking for money, how many Nigerians have they measured? How many Nigerians are paying for the power supply? Do you have a point? Do you get my point? If they are looking for money, if Aso Rock will hold them almost 700 billion naira, do you understand? To the extent they're not debating that Mr. President approved, that we negotiated, and we are paying. They agree that we are paying 500 million naira. So, and Mr. President approved that the money should be paid. Can you imagine? We are talking about Aso Rock. So that means they are transferring the body. What they did not pay. How many government houses have paid? We are talking about Aso Rock. How many ministries and government MDAs have paid their money? Do you understand? How many government establishments, company, factories owned by the government have paid? The military barracks, police barracks. Who is paying for them? They now said recently that government has released about 20-something billion for metering of the barracks. Do you understand? Who was paying for them before? But if it's part of the subsidies for our soldiers, I'm not saying they should not give them whatever, but they have their budget. Do you understand? Why can't you make provision for it and give that part of their budget to the companies that supply the electricity? So some people the heavy consumers. So big barracks in Maryland here, where you have constant power supply, in Oshodi here, where you have big power where you have enjoy relative power supply in Kenya, wherever Air Force, where you enjoy relative power supply. If they are not metering them, they are not paying. Who is paying for them?
Nigerians. So, and they are telling us there's no money to buy gas. How we get money to buy gas? With the number of assets you have there. And the consumption.
So if the military settlements, do you understand, establishments, do you understand, are not paying, are you not transferring that to
the ordinary Nigerians?
The government houses. Do you understand? Tell me any Nepal that can go to the military barracks in the Maryland or whatever.
I'm going to ask them for bill.
And go and cut their powers, cut their lights.
You will not come down from that pole.
Tell me anybody that can go to them barracks. Do you understand? And do that. Tell me anybody that go to the government service. Do you understand? And cut their source of power. Because they're not paying. Are they paying? Let them tell us how much have they paid outside in recent times for the power they are consuming. Both the government house and the government offices. So if these people are not paying, and these are the heavy consumers, they are centrally located where they enjoy 20 hours power supply. So the people, the poor man living
in Alagbole
or Agbado
Crossing, are the ones that will bear the brunt.
Or that's not bear the brunt. It's unfair.
Now, let me pick a line. When you make things available for people,
yes, people
would naturally warm up to it.
Yes.
When the telephone thing came up, that should be early 2000s, 2001, 2002. Yes. There was these, there were 2 subscribers. Then one was changing names. As at that point, I remember there was a brand of phone that my dad sent to us then. SIM was unaffordable, so we're just carrying the phone without SIM on it at some point. But I mean, look at what it is now. When the indigenous supplier came through with the per seconds billing, it crashed the duopoly of those two. And everybody started enjoying that. If I call you for 10 seconds, I'm only going to be charged for 10 seconds. I spend approximately 30,000 every week on diesel, on petrol rather. So if I'm paying 30,000 every month on electricity, I won't mind. If I can spend almost 80,000, 100,000 on petrol every month, and you're telling me to pay 20,000 every month, I won't mind. So, whose doors should we knock? The government seems to be, bowing to the pressure from the discos, or from the gencos rather, because with this increment right now, 225 naira per kilowatt. That means if you consume 10 of it, and for people that cannot survive without air condition, they cook a lot of things in their fridge. They use microwave, they have fridge, they have room warmer. should we go back to government control of electricity distribution in this country? If the privatization of it has failed, every year we keep subsidizing electricity in this country. I understand when you said power is not cheap, but if it is expensive and it is available, it is understandable. Should government take over the ownership and the control of electricity distribution in this country, Mr. Mura?
We may not go back to that. I'm sorry to say that.
But privatization is not working.
No, they've not done it rightly. You understand? The way out is privatization. If it worked in telecom, you understand? Because it was done rightly. And remember, initially also was the privatization of a telecom was not even done rightly. And let me tell you, if I will take you back to memory lane, when Abacha was to do that privatization, right? It was only one company
that was licensed.
And I still recently I saw the advert placed in the Guardian. Do you understand how much they wanted to give that Atonk telephone, that Atonk handset out? Do you understand? At almost 200,000 naira that time. But because when opposition came, he gave 2, right, license. Do you understand? But you saw the way 2 of them were behaving. But the minute he brought the 3rd one, do you understand? Nigeria now begin to enjoy the dividends of privatization. So Adibi did not bring the 3rd one. MTN and Econet as
we still be enjoying the control of the market.
We still control the market, and we tell you that it's not possible to bring per second billing system. That we must continue to buy airtime of 1,005, the least. Even that time there was airtime of 5,000 naira. Card 3,000.
The one you scratch. Sometimes you scratch the numbers.
No, you scratch. But what you are saying is that because the privatization, the unbundling they did, the privatization, and they have not done it rightly and get right player and right framework. If they've gotten the right framework, I'm talking of the policies, do you understand? And the right people, let the technical people that were involved, that knows the nitty-gritty of this business, let them be involved in selecting the players. The players we have now, as Wari has said, they were given the license based on political patronage because of the capacity and the ability to make things work. So there's no way, and that drives also, whether you ask me or not ask me, people up to that are still doubting the capacity of the present Minister of Power to drive this process. I'm not the one saying it, but ask many Nigerians that does this man even know his right from the left?
It's coming from the banking sector.
So you know what? We got some this wrong. Because it's coming from banking sector, what made him and Nigeria to understand the language they are speaking? Who's just teaching about kilowatts, megawatts? Who's just teaching him the language? You know what? Nigeria now should be more serious. Fashola was brilliant. Fashola is brilliant. But the achievement of Umahi
is eclipsing everything.
You compare it with Fashola's 80 years. Because when these technical people come and start bamboozling you with what you cannot decode, you fall into their hands. But please tell me anything about mass journalism. You understand? Which one is there for me to run?
Journalism or Federal Airport Authority?
Take me to go and run NEPA. You understand? Or instead of taking me to go and run a federal maybe
Ministry of Information.
Do you understand? And we expect you to understand the language immediately. Every sector has their language. Even if non-journalists come to the newsroom and we are discussing,
they will still lost.
It will be lost. So the competence of that prejudice to credential as a first-class brain, right, was like a round peg
in a wrong hole.
In a square hole. I'm sorry to say. I am sorry to say. See, Umahi, what the man is performing there. even his onions, because it's a familiar terrain. Do you understand? The power is so important after fixed security and power sector in this country. All other issues will be find their level and mean it. All this economy we are talking about, the private sector are the drivers of economy. Small scale businesses, they are the one. Now we said the woman operating a courtroom could not operate any longer. A carpenter could not operate at level you ought to operate. The woman selling cold drinks at least had nothing to sell again. The hairdresser needs power to fix some things done. They were sleep. They were sitting under Dongayaro tree because no power supply, no power for them. Fixing security, fix power. Do you understand? All others who are
they are aligned.
You must have solved about 60% of major problems for Nigeria. You have solved unemployment problem, solved inflation problem. When Dunlop left Nigeria, what was their reason?
Electricity.
When Michelle left Nigeria, what was their reason?
Electricity.
So all the major companies employing thousands of Nigerians, when they were leaving, what was their problem? Power. So if you cannot solve the power problem, won't more companies come to Nigeria? Won't there be more jobs? So giving that particular sector to somebody that will be doing China and error, do you understand? To me, I think it's a mismatch. It's unfortunate.
Well,
but we are not talking about him. Just
exactly. You know, it is good.
But by and large, you know, I have not seen, I think, the president taking a very, a right decision when it comes to solving power problem in this country. I think because we expect, if nothing, I think all of us, many Nigerians believe that we would have declared emergency on power sector. But up to now, he has not done it. So he's still doing the way Buhari did it for 8 years without any improvement. Before Buhari came, we were talking of 4,000 megawatts. Now we are talking of 3,000 megawatts. So what about the 8 years he spent? And we are complaining about the power sector. What has changed?
Well, sometimes last year, I think around October last year, at the Nigerian Electricity Supply Industry Summit in Abuja, our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu admitted that the power sector privatization has failed, that it has not met the objective it was set up to achieve in the past 10 years.
Yes.
And I understand where you're coming from. In terms of the personnel handling these responsibilities, I look at the state of the security of this country, and I remember very well that the current Minister of State for Security is the immediate past governor of Zamfara State, Bello Matawale, that literally, almost succumbed the state to the hands of bandits. Yes. For his period while he was in office as a governor. Now he's the Minister of State Minister of State for Defense. Yes. You look at some of these issues, I've seen a lot of backlash that Honorable Minister of Power, Bayo Adilabu, has been receiving on social media. And a lot of people have said, hey, 1 month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Some of the ministers have been here for about 7 months, 6 months now, and you'd expect something to be different. Now, you sorted the fact that this increment would give them the leeway. Is this a sign that the wrong people are handling the responsibility of fixing this country, Mr. Opeyemi? Let's do this in about 3 minutes because we need to take the airline news and also pay some bills. Where should we turn to? If it affects the people that are spending more, won't it still come down to the people that are also spending less?
You know what? People that have said spending more, there's a backlash. I want to tell you some companies as we are talking are already disconnecting their companies from the national grid because it doesn't pay them. I know many. I don't want to mention some. Do you understand that? No. Why are we? No, remove us. Do you understand? Remove us. If you know the major money being paid, they're being paid by companies on commercial.
What are we still doing with the national grid, Mr. Mowa?
So these companies, some of them are looking for alternative power supply, using gas to power their factories now. There are companies that are using gas. Do you understand? There are some gas companies in Lagos. Do you understand? I think they've piped all of Tere, Ikeja, you understand, to my two axes. So most of these companies, Gamu, they are now buying gas, having their own IPP, as you want to call it, and running the gas. Do you understand? So they are removing themselves from the national grid. And the more they remove themselves from national grid, these are the companies that pay millions every month
into the countries.
To IK, Ikeja, or whatever you are calling them. Do you understand? It's not people paying 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 we're talking about now. So if those people that have the capacity of paying millions are removing themselves, even some homes, I know some friends invested in solar in their homes. Do you understand?
My neighbor have not used NEPA in almost 3 years.
Yes, a friend, I just saw that one now, had a solar powered pumping machine. Yes, so with solar powered pumping machine, and they bought. They told me that they bought solar powered standing fans. He said we bought about each one then about 130,000, 140,000. So we bought 5. So with that solar powered standing fans, you understand? Solar powered
pumping machine,
and it has a solar
that carries the other electronics.
4 batteries, you understand? Carry the freezer, whatever. Say no to hell with NEPA. So, and I'm sure some Nigerians are always thinking in that direction. If I have up to 5 million, I can invest. It's an investment because you get it back. That means I will stop buying petrol.
Stop buying diesel.
I've stopped buying diesel in my house since. That's the truth. I sold off my diesel generator, so I'm not coming back to petrol, right? So if I stop buying petrol, one, and then secondly,
I stop paying NEPA
bills. By the time you calculate, and you are sure of 24-hour power supply. Once there is sun, once the day is bright.
Yes, it charges.
It charges. So if you can invest up to 5 billion, you understand? I will do it. You will not get it immediately, but within 2 years,
you will know how much you save.
Most of the batteries last for 5-6 years. Once well charged, once you are not abusing them. So in 2 years, you make your money back. Calculate it. So people are already trying to invest. So if a lot of people are now beginning to invest in that, how would they be making their money? So with this law, nothing says I must be connected to the national grid. Nothing says that. So you can have 5 million I can invest. So there's solar powered pumping machine, there's solar powered freezer they are selling, and they will start bring more.
Even air conditions that's solar friendly.
They will start bringing all this solar power because they know that the Nigeria is not serious with the public power supply. So before you know there will be solar powered AC, air conditioners. So if you can have that one, to hell with national grid, to hell with them.
Well, interesting conversation we're having with Mr. Opeyemi, the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper. He joins me every Thursday to look at these issues, and today we've decided to look at deeply. I've lost count of the number of times we've had conversation around electricity generation and distribution in this country. I've lost count. I remember when we were setting the agenda for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he was setting up his cabinet, we said one of the things he should prioritize is fixing the electricity problem in this country. But it looks like the president is, really struggling with getting his ways around it. But it's okay. I will take a very quick break. We'll pay some bills after taking the headline news. The phone lines have been buzzing. We'll pick the calls when we come back on the turn of 5 o'clock. You're live on Mainland 98.3 FM. This is the Situation Room. Get the headline news and also pay some commercials. And then when we come back, we just straight up pick the calls. And don't forget, we're streaming live. I'm seeing your comment on Facebook. We'll come back and read them. Don't go nowhere.
Listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
Headline news on 98.3 Mainland FM.
Good evening. Headline news on Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Omobola Sandra. President Tinubu tells Nigerians not to worry about inflation, says administration will bring it down. Panel gives Edo Deputy Governor Shaibu last chance to defend himself. 9 arrested over killing of policemen in Delta State. Court adjourns Binance tax evasion case till April 19th. European Union partners with Nigeria to address waste management challenges. On the foreign scene, NATO celebrates 75th anniversary amid Ukraine war tensions. And in sports, record breaker Phil Foden matches Cristiano Ronaldo after Aston Villa demolition. That's the headline news on Mainland FM. Details at 5:30.
You're listening to the soft sounds of 98.3 Mainland FM. Easy listening wherever, whenever. Hello everyone, Jendol Superstores is here again.
Yes, that's why we are identifying with you, our valued customers, at this moment of purity, love, sacrifice and dedication to God.
As part of identifying with you, our valued customers, in a season of faith, supplication and sharing, Jendol Superstores will be offering you up to 50% discount for some products across all sections in all our superstores nationwide.
This is fantastic.
Yes, so for all your groceries and non-grocery items, household needs, food items at the most affordable rates, bakery items, electronic gadgets, religious materials, and wonderful gift items for your friends, families, loved ones, religious and corporate organizations, Jendol Superstores is the best place to shop at this period.
So what are you waiting for? Hurry now. Shop at Jendol Superstores today.
Offer valid while stock lasts.
Visit Jendol Superstores nearest to you in Egbeda, Idimu, Igondo, Okeafa by Jakonde Gate, and Ipaja by Abeson. We are also at Abulegba, Alakuko, Odogiyo in Ikorodu, another branch along Itoiki Road, Ikorodu, and in Ojuore, Ota, Ogun State. For more unbeatable shopping experience,
Jendol opens Mondays to Saturdays 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Sundays 9 a.m. to 9:30 p.m.
For more details, visit our website at www.jendolsuperstores.com.
For online, home, office, or special deliveries, call or WhatsApp us on 090-6287-3274 or call the customer care line on 090-6287-3267.
Visit Jendol Superstores today and get discount up to 50% on some products in all sections of our superstores nationwide.
Jendol Superstores. Shop and smile.
It's Ramadan. Come on board. Let's go on a tour to the top restaurants where you can enjoy the best of the season. First stop is Charity Cafe. Here, the currency is sharing, so keep giving. Next stop is Kindness Bistro. Be the kindest you can be. Last but not the least, make a stop by at Forgiveness Drive-Thru and let go of every beef. And at Sahur and Iftar, bring it home with the goodness of great tasting meals with more. This Ramadan, don't just eat for good. Share the good and be the good. More. Eat for good.
Are you a real estate developer in Lagos? Do you want to see the business of real estate development done to global best practices? Are you eager for a more cordial relationship between real estate developers and government in Lagos? Do you want a boom in the Lagos real estate sector? Then vote Dr. Segun Oshudairu as Chairman, Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDAM, Lagos State Chapter.
A vote for me is a vote for continuity, for unity, and for progress of Redan Lagos. I'll be counting on your votes. We can do this together. Thank you.
Are you seeking admission into a tertiary institution in Nigeria? Here is a big opportunity for you. The 2022-2023 admission into Eko City Polytechnic is now open. Available courses are Computer Science, Theatre and Media Arts, Mass Communication, Science Laboratory Technology, Electronics Engineering, Accounting, Banking Operations, Business Administration, Multimedia Technology. Qualified students should have scored 100 and above in the last JAMB exam. Facilities at Eko City Polytechnic include includes well-equipped studio and laboratories, modern classrooms, innovative workshop, recreation space, and fully functional hostels. Our lecturers and tutors combine both academic and industry experience. Full-time and part-time admission forms are available for the 2022-2023 academic session at the campus Èkó City Polytechnic, Plot 100, Alhaji Onilewura Street, Ikotun Egbe, Lagos State. Èkó City Polytechnic is approved by JAMB, NBTE, and the Federal Ministry of Education. For more information, please call Moses 091-6254-0610, Wale 091-6292-7079, Praise 091-6269-9996, Adelanwa 081-2658-0784, or visit our website www.ecocity.edu.ng. Èkó City Polytechnic, building industry-ready professionals.
Are you a real estate developer in Lagos? Do you want to see the business of real estate development done to global best practices? Are you eager for a more cordial relationship between real estate developers and government in Lagos? Do you want a boom in the Lagos real estate sector? Then vote Dr. Segun Oshudairu as Chairman, Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDAM, Lagos State Chapter.
A vote for me is a vote for continuity, for unity, and for progress of REDAM Lagos. I'll be counting on your votes. We can do this together. Thank you.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is where I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us, man, there is nothing. We are starving. We should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Opeyemi Akinyode as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership. Every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you your next as we discuss the situations.
Yeah, we're on the home stretch. I think we have about 20 minutes or thereabouts to say our goodbyes on the show. And in case you're just tuning in, I must admit that you've missed 1 hour of straight conversation around how we can fix the electricity challenge that we have in this country. It looks like, just like my guest said, by the way, my guest had been Mr. Opeyemi, the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper. And we get to do this together every Thursday. It's a privilege. And just like you say, you move around the country, maybe the roads are not exactly where we want them to be, but there are huge and obvious improvements in the cost of power. Mr. Adebayo Adelabu are done, and a lot of people have asked questions. And I've always wondered, maybe next week Thursday we'll look at this conversation, or maybe tomorrow. I could just get someone to talk about it. Do we need to wait for a certain time before we change cabinet? I think it's supposed to be a plug and pull system. If I give you an employment and you're not delivering, I send you away, I bring someone else. But I think that's a talk for another day. It's time for you to join the conversation. I'm seeing all of your comments on Facebook. I would read them. The phone lines have been buzzing. So let's get that. 091-3600-0410. Please, I don't want to cut anybody off today. Let's just go straight to the point and just keep it as quick as possible. I invite you to the room. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. How are you, Milan?
I'm very good. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Peter Omonse. I'm supposed to call from Shomolu, but I'm calling from Mushin this afternoon.
You're welcome.
Now, if the government is continuing, and it was discovered or alleged that Jonathan used the power sector privatization, to grease the palms of political loyalists. Now, another government that took it up from Jonathan, can't they reverse that policy? Why has it been so difficult for them to look at it and look, this thing is not functioning? Can't they terminate it? Because the fact remains that if you come and give an excuse about the past government and you come and do the same thing, that means you are not ready to serve. And in the case of Tinubu now, what is he going to do? Seeing that the power sector is not working, is he also using it, to grease the palms of political loyalists? So what is happening? Finally, sir, the former minister said.
Hello? Okay, I think the message is very clear. Truly, if they say the government is a continuum, then why didn't they open the books and fix the wrongs? Hello, good evening.
Hello. Yeah, Opeyemi, good evening.
You're welcome.
This is Paul from Egbeda.
Mr. Paul.
Opeyemi, I love your program, but if you can...
Hello, Mr. Paul. Oh dear, I really hope we're not having problems with the phone lines. It seems the network is really taking the calls off, but just keep trying. 091-3600-0410. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, okay.
You're welcome.
Great day,
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Mr. How do I describe you now? Anyway, I want to describe you, you make me happy. There is no perfect person on earth, but at least if your analysis is 80-90%, it's okay. We are all attached sentimentally or emotionally somehow. But when I didn't hear your voice, I called you, but didn't pick.
Oh.
Anyway, my name is Ambrose. You see, this issue of Mr. President and this issue of electricity, because I saw that you talked virtually on almost everything. All the companies that you said they are relocated and all of that. And then you begin to ask yourself, just like you have said, that most of the things that you say and some of us say, some of us have been saying them long time ago. But it's like when one big man talk it now, politician now, if Atiku or Obi say it now, it will be in the news. But when we talk, they don't value it. I'm still asking. Tinubu has organizations. He has companies. Are the companies not doing well? They are doing well now. Why are they doing well? If his companies are doing well, the Nation newspaper is one of his companies. Why is he not applying same to Nigeria? Nobody should tell me that Nigeria is different. Is it not the same human being that are in the Nation newspaper that are in Nigeria? If anybody is not performing, can't you sack them? Now he's telling us that we should be patient, that the inflation will go down, all of those things. And some people will come and tell me that they should bring Naira down to $900 to 900. If President Tinubu cannot bring dollar below what Buhari left is, I will not celebrate him.
Thank you.
I will not celebrate him.
Thank you,
because
Pastor.
What I expect from him is much more than that. Okay, no problem. Bye.
Thank you very much. 091-3600-0410. Keep your calls coming in. Nuwundi Austin on Facebook says, I have a question. Does Governor Sanwo-Olu show any feelings if its citizens don't have lights? Has the governor made any comment on the series of complaints about IKDC? Did he not campaign to give us light, water, and road? We don't know the impact of Sanwo-Olu to Lagosians, and they don't have light. Okay, Agbola Babatunde Olamide, thank you. I got your message. Rashid Taurid says, why is the government always comfortable by inflicting pains and hardship on the innocent citizens? Tomorrow now, they will come with palliative which is shared amongst themselves. Why is our leaders insensitive to the reality on ground? Dayo Dada, I'll come and read your message back to the phone lines. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I will enjoy your program and it's nice one. I'm a leader from Sango.
Okay.
You see what happened it must have been happened for long. We Nigerians, immediately when something happens, we now start making any type of voice, both negative or positive. It's not the issue. You see, this pertaining to electricity problem, blame former President Goodluck Jonathan daily for it by selling them to their political loyalists. You see, this one Ahmed, president of the country, just came in with this type of system. Let us just take our time and see what will happen in the next future. I love it for one thing by giving Nigerians all time encouragement. And it's just a matter of time. God will help this country and God will assist this country.
Thank you very much. All the way from Songo, thank you for joining us on the show today. 091-3600-0410. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
You're welcome.
This is Pastor Badamosi from Sule.
Pastor Badamosi, good to have you join us on the show today.
Yes. I want to ask Mr. Adeyemi.
Okay, he's listening. Okay.
Why is it difficult to remove these people who have this hegemony on this electricity problem? I can see them. They even sell meters, and nobody's asking. Why? Passionate is a lawyer, and he couldn't fight them legally. It's a legal problem because it has to do with the contract.
The contract signed.
Yes. Why is it this contract problem? This contract agreement. Why is it difficult to remove these people? Please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pastor Badamosi. Mr. Miwa is asking why is it difficult for the government to move away from these people or to remove them or to change the contract. But let's go back to Facebook. Olubenga Michael Adisa says, is it not funny that manufacturers that claim they don't use electricity to power their business and hike prices at the increment of diesel are claiming that the hike in electricity will affect their operations? That means most of these guys have been enjoying almost 20 hours of electricity while they hide under diesel price to hike the price. Michael from Surulere, that's a new twist. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
You're welcome.
Long time. You just appear again. Now.
But you know, be wood.
Now, so my brother, I just say, I give you one press secretary.
No, you
now.
never enter.
How is it now? You just disappear.
You mean?
I just on my this and I heard your voice. I said, okay, let me talk to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ambrose, Pastor Ambrose is talking about dollar. Your topic is about dollar. Dollar, what happened to dollar now? You don't come down every now and then. You don't come down.
I don't know.
No, I heard you when you were saying that the only thing that is this thing. Me, I don't talk. I have a banker neighbor here. I was telling him that he was telling me dollar is 1,200. I say it's rubbish now. It's rubbish in the sense that yes, now, okay, if you have a shop and you put a 1K this stock in there, you understand? You have to grow that shop from the profit you are making from that money. You understand? Not that even tomorrow you just tomorrow you buy another 50,000 you put. You will not know how. You can't understand the business. What I'm trying to say, yes, now you can. So if you are now running an economy that just intervention from CBN, you are just pumping some dollars into the market. You understand? It's just a palliative now. You grow your economy from foreign exchange, from export. You understand? That is how you grow your economy. That is how you stretching your dollar. I mean your currency, not by you just pumping money, just you pull money, that. No. Okay, as I'm telling you, all the measures that are putting in place about regulating BDC, whatever. That thing is just a minor. Let 2025 come to make you see what will happen. You understand? You understand? We are in a very big crisis. So, to be honest with you, okay, now I was telling my wife yesterday that okay, we are in April. By next month, now this month will do this 1 year anniversary. Why is he going to tell Nigerians now that this is his achievement?
Thank you, man.
You understand?
I'm Malam Salau from Alagbado.
I know. Thank you very much, Malam Salau. Matthew Tiamiyu says, please, where is Ben that used to call on mainland before, the campaign manager of BAT? Or has he jackpot today? I miss my friend Ben, by the way. I hope he's listening. I would appreciate if you can join the conversation today. Hello, good evening.
Prof, good evening.
You're welcome.
Prof, you people can hear everybody what they are saying now. Are we going to continue like this till another election? For good 8 years, we are repeating the same thing. Hello?
I'm with you.
We are repeating the same thing. This guy again, on these people again. Are we telling ourselves that our brain is not working? I believe those people that employ you there, people have looked for African and use it to represent your what you are doing now. Which is somebody that is not an engineer, nothing like, the traces of that electrical or, engineering technology on that seat. And we are now talking now. I just bought 15,000 prepaid card now. How many units now? 300 and something units. I was just looking at it, and then instead of them to write the price of the unit, they didn't write it there.
So that you won't know what to expect. You won't know what to expect. You calculate it yourself.
Yes, I'm not calculating it. I now look at it for something, out from 30 something. You see the way they are running this country, I think all of us are not well educated. So they are telling us that we are going to impose what we do on you people, and you people will not talk. Come outside, we kill you people, come outside, we are going to destroy you. That is what they are telling us. And we cannot sit down watching them, taking our money away from this country, doing us anything. Look at the way they are running the country now. No light. My brother,
thank you.
Monkey go market, go come back.
No, that will be one day, not yet. Joy is Egbo on Facebook. Okay, thank you. I got your message. Agbola, I also got your message. Okay, that says, I want to ask a question. Are we in democracy or we are in feudalism? Since what has Nigerians benefited from this government? There's inflation, there's corruption, there's sorrow. Now there's increment from 66 naira to 225 naira. There's house rent increments, no food, no security. Due to insecurity, they will tell you to tighten your belt while they live large, like the prodigal children. They've turned the people to beggars in the midst of plenty. They've turned a secured country to a gangster paradise. You cannot protest. They will send the police and the army. Is this democracy? The worst thing is Nigerians would have to bear this nightmare for the next 3 years and some months. It's a shame that the worst of us are ruling the best of us. Thank you, Dayo Dada. Hello, good evening. Okay, I got a bit late. One more call, then my guest would respond. Hello, good evening. Okay, I've been placed on hold. Maybe you try and call me back. 091-3600-0410. The last call before we say our goodbyes on the show. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you.
My name is Robert.
Okay, Mr. Robert, where are you calling from?
Apapa, Lagos, in Nigeria.
Okay, you're welcome.
The truth is that I cannot continue to flog the dead horse every time we complain about this government. The truth is, you see, this country, ever since we gained independence, we have wicked people that have been ruling us. Only a few of them are good. People like Yaradua, we can say, okay, if not for death, though death do not give us much time to access his government. Though they do certain things now, they do fair price, they do other things. These were cheap. You understand? Since then, Nigeria has been in pain. When they want to campaign, they will pretend we will do this, I will do that. When they enter, they become like, in fact, I don't just know. These people, I don't know. How are we going to survive this now for the next 3.5 years that they will finish their term? How are we going to survive this? There's no food, no security. And you are talking about electricity tariff again. Hike, and there's no power. We are paying for darkness. God will reward these people, honestly. Very wicked.
Thank you. God always has a way of rewarding his people, whether for good or for bad. Mr. Miwadi, I mean, while we say our goodbyes, apologies, I can pick more calls. We're really pressed for time. There was a big question I was asked by one of the callers, and it says, why is it difficult for the government to walk away from this contract that is not working? The president admitted last year that the privatization had not worked. And this means that the people that have brought in commitment have not lived up to their commitments in terms of, improving on the electricity supply in this country. Where should we go from here? Is it the government, or who should take the lead for us to have a lasting solution to the problems we have in 2 minutes?
I think let me please let our listener aware of that. The fact that a contract was signed by these people. And the contract, I think they have some international connections. People and companies know that certain contractual agreements must be respected when it comes to termination. So terminating it, and this will drive many foreign investors away, that maybe Nigeria is not keeping to the agreement, even may lead to a lot of litigation within and outside the country. So I'm sure government try to run away from that, because some of them have foreign partners, claim to have foreign partners, even if we didn't see the impact of the foreign partners throughout the period they have been operating shabbily. But when it comes to that, you see them also involved in litigation. So I think government try to run away from that. And secondly, is that the times have just recently lapsed, with my understanding. So I'm sure any moment from now, government will be able to take decision. So maybe to really extend their when they are going to another agreement, maybe the same people, they are going to sign the same people, or they are going to review the terms of agreement and contract, or they are bringing in people. And it's very difficult for anybody to say now. But I know that those guys are on the verge of ending their contractual agreements and for a new lease of life to begin. But it's difficult for anybody to predict, because it's a real big game, and to be played by big boys and the big multinational interests and all those things. But let's wait and see what government will do. But the verdict is clear. That's in Nigeria, these people have performed below expectation, and unless there are enough evidence, at least to prove that they can perform better, there's no way for the government to continue. I think to
reinforce,
to extend their contractual agreement more than what they've done. We've seen the worst, so we never pray that things should go worse than this. So we've been at the edge of the precipice. So, but let's see what our government will handle the matter. But by and large, they also will face some challenges.
Thank you yet again, Mr. Miwadi, for always finding time to be with us every Thursday. Mr. Deyemi is the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper, and I want to appeal to you, please. Make sure that you don't miss it. The narrative and the angle to stories on Guardian, it feels fresh and different. My name is Opeyemi Akinyode. Thank you to everyone that reached out today, the calls, the messages, and especially thank you to everyone that sent me messages. Somebody said he thought I'd left Mainland FM. For where? I'm still here, body, soul, and spirit. But first off, I want to yet again send a big congratulations to my friend that got married over the weekend. Obina, I wish you the very best, and I wish you more grace and progress as you enjoy your marriage. Enjoy yourself, regards to your wife. Well, that's where we'll call the curtains today. God willing, tomorrow by 4 o'clock, the show returns. But before then, enjoy the full bulletin. By 6 o'clock, we'll be back for Sport Cruise on Mainland 98.3 FM. Have a very good evening.